Today I'm going to be sharing with you what you get in the GoPro MAX box and just generally walking you around the UI. But in the videos to come, I'll be sharing with you the mobile workflow and the desktop workflow and the best video you can get out of the GoPro MAX. Now, also in the near future, we'll be making a video about the question that everyone's asking, which one is the best 360 camera, the GoPro MAX or the Insta360 One X? Now that is such a massive topic. There are so many things to compare and I can't do it all myself. So I will be collaborating with the 360 guy on this one. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos about the GoPro MAX. So with all that out the way, let's get into it. So in the GoPro box, you get a bunch of books and leaflets like your warranty, your quick start guide, and there's this one piece of card which says that the protective lenses may affect the video quality, and on the other side it says that the protective lenses can't be used underwater. You get a sticky adhesive mount. You get the GoPro clip, so you can put it into the sticky adhesive mount, and to secure the camera into the clip, you also have the thumb screw. You get a USB-C charging cable. You get one rechargeable battery. So this is the pouch for the GoPro MAX. And inside the pouch, there is sleeves for the protective lenses, and then you fit your camera in here. So I'll just take out one of these protective lenses, and there's one for each lens. So you can protect your lens from dust, and you get the GoPro itself, and you also get these caps to cover the lenses. So it just fits over it like that, clips on. Show you the other side. And now your lenses are protected whilst you're traveling. So now let me walk you through the body of the GoPro MAX and what all the bits and bobs do. On top here we have the shutter button, and this is how you start and stop a recording or take a photo or start a time lapse. There are 6 microphones on the GoPro, but 2 of them are over here, and there's also a status light over here, so it will tell you when the GoPro is recording or charging. So over here you have the battery door, and if I just push this latch down, you get this red marker, and this basically tells you that the door's open and you need to close it by pushing it up. So I'll just lift up the latch to show you inside. So here you can see the micro USB-C port over here. Then you got your battery, and micro SD goes over here. And to close it, I'll just push it up, make sure it's all the way up, push this latch up, and then when you can no longer see that red marker, then you know you closed the door properly. There are 6 microphones on the GoPro MAX. There is 2 over here. There is 2 on the other side over here. And there is another 2 on this side where the power button is over here. And on the bottom of the MAX, you have the built-in GoPro mounts, so you can add it to your mounts and rigs. Now, if I want to use my GoPro MAX on a selfie stick, then you're going to need a converter like this. And this basically converts the GoPro mount to a 1/4 inch screw. So then you can get your normal selfie stick and just screw it into the mount. And then you're good to go. So let me take you for a tour around the GoPro MAX user interface. So I'm going to turn it on by pushing down the power button. This is a touchscreen, so you can tap on it to select an item or turn a setting on and off. You can swipe left to go into time-lapse mode, or I can swipe right to go into video mode, or right again to go into 360 photo mode. To start a recording, just push the shutter button on top of the GoPro, and then it will start recording, and then I can push the shutter button again to stop recording. But it also has voice control, so I can say GoPro start recording, and now you can see it started to record, and then I can say GoPro stop recording. I think that's pretty neat. So let me walk you through the screen. So in the middle, it will tell you if you're in time-lapse, video or photo mode. In the top left-hand corner, it will show you how much recording time you have left. And right now I have a 128 gig micro SD card inside. So I can record 3 hours, 19 minutes of 5.6K 25 frames per second video. In the top right hand corner you have battery life. These blue icons in the middle are customizable on-screen shortcuts, and I've set it to shutter speed and ISO for quick manual controls, and there are so many things you can set it to, and I'll show you that a little bit later. This button over here tells me I'm in spherical 360 video mode, but if I tap it, then it will change to hero mode, and in hero mode it uses a single lens to record video, either the back lens or the front lens, and in spherical mode we are using the front and back lens to create a 360 video. This button over here is the capture settings, and I will take you through that a little bit later. And over here, this is the view of the back lens, and if I tap it, this is the view of the front lens. And this is a really easy and quick way of seeing a preview of your entire 360 video in just a tap. And this is much easier than actually scrolling through a 360 video. If I scroll down from the top, then you get a set of more shortcuts. If I just scroll down a little bit more, you can see the time, you can see whether GPS is on, you can see whether it's connected to your phone, and you can see whether it's auto uploading, and you can see the date. This first icon is voice control, so this is when you can tell the GoPro to start and stop recording. The second icon is camera beep, so if you don't want it to beep and you want it to be silent, then you can turn it off here. The third option is quick capture mode, so when you press the shutter button whilst the GoPro is off, then you can start a video recording automatically. This option is screen lock, so when you're recording and you don't want accidental presses on the screen, then you can tap that button, then you can't use the touch screen whilst it's recording. This button is grid mode, so if I turn that on, you'll see on the screen there's a grid to help you frame your shot. You don't really need it for 360, but it will be helpful for hero mode. Preferences will give you some general settings, which I'll show you in a minute. And this is orientation lock. So when you turn the GoPro on its side, then it goes into this Instagram stories mode. But if you don't want to go into that mode, you can lock the screen and it'll stay in this landscape view. So if I just go into preferences now, you can see some options. The first one is connections, and I have wireless connections turned off because when it's turned on, it burns battery really fast. So you can connect a device, you can get some camera info, you can change the Wi-Fi band from 5G to 2.4G, and you can reset connections. In general settings, you can mute the beep volume, you can turn quick capture on and off, and you can set what you want to quick capture, so you can either put it to hero mode or 360 mode. There's auto power off, and the great thing about the GoPro is that when you tap on a setting, it will actually tell you what it does. So here it says set how long you want the GoPro to stay idle before it turns off. Then you can choose a setting. You can choose to turn the LEDs on and off. You can change anti-flicker from 50 to 60. Video compression, you can either have H.265 or H.264 and H.265. I just kept it to H.265 for now. Time and date settings and date format. If I scroll down, you have voice control settings, and I have it turned on. And I think you can do it in different languages. So here there's English, there's French, there's German, Italian, Japanese. So many different languages to choose from. I'll leave that as default. And here you have the list of commands you can tell the GoPro so it can automatically start doing things for you. So that's all the settings in voice control. In touchscreen, you have orientation, so you can set whether you want to have it landscape or whether you turn it on its side to go into portrait mode. Screensaver, so if you're not using the GoPro, then the screen can turn off to save battery. You can set the brightness of the screen, and the reason I've set it to 15% is because it's too bright for the camera, so I've set it all the way down. Otherwise it was at 80%, but also lower brightness will reserve your battery life. And then there's regional settings, so you can turn GPS on or off. and language, and then just the other general stuff like camera info, updates, battery info, and the reset button. So that's all the general settings. Now if I swipe up from the bottom of the screen, then you'll get all the previous videos that you've taken, and there is speakers built into the GoPro so you can hear it. You can delete your footage, and because this is a 360 video, if I wanted to see the other side of the 360 video, I can tap this button to see the front view and the back view, which is awesome because you don't need to scroll the 360 video on this tiny screen. And you can quickly scroll through your video by tapping this button, and you can highlight the moments that later on you know you want to keep in editing. So now let me show you all the 360 video settings on the GoPro Max. And the really great thing about this camera is that all the settings that you can set on the phone can actually be set inside the GoPro itself. So there is no need to use your phone, and that's another good reason for setting your Wi-Fi off, because you only need it to transfer footage, which will save you battery. So here is the video resolution, and the only one you can set is 5.6K video in either 25 or 24 frames per second. Clips sounds like something similar to the Insta360 Go. It shoots 15 or 30 second videos for easy sharing. I haven't tried it, I'm not sure what it does, but I'm not using that just yet. So these are the Pro Tune settings, and I'm really glad that there's manual shutter speeds, but there isn't much manual shutter speeds. I mean, there's 1/50th, there's auto, there's 125, 50, 100, 200, and 400. Now I know the One X can go up to like 4,000 or 8,000 shutter speed, but when I record manually on the One X, I usually use 1/2000th shutter speed when it's really bright. So this goes only up to 1/400. So I'm guessing I have to leave it on auto in bright conditions. But nevertheless, these shutter speeds are really good for low light, which means that we can get rid of the blurriness, micro jitters that you might experience when you normally do night footage. So I'm going to set that on 1/50th for now. White balance, so if I just tap that, you can actually set a custom white balance, which is amazing, but I'll just leave it on auto for now. ISO minimum, so you can set the minimum and maximum ISO, and I'll set my max T400, but I will test it out to see how far we can push the ISO before it starts breaking the image. Now the sharpness you can set to low, medium, or high, but I leave it as low so that I can sharpen it in post. But if you're doing a mobile only workflow, then you can maybe set it higher, but that's something I need to play around with test footage to see which sharpness is best. And with the color profile, you can either set flat or GoPro color. I'm gonna set it to flat, which is the equivalent of log footage on the One X. And with 360 audio, you can either record stereo or 360 plus stereo. Now, because I'm not filming a 360 VR video with the glasses, I don't need the spherical audio, so I'm only going to use stereo. But if you were recording virtual reality videos and you wanted to make the most of immersive sound, you can set it to 360 audio to get that full immersive effect, but it's completely overkill for social media videos, and it requires a very special workflow to get that sound in your video. So I recommend you stick to stereo. For wind noise, you can choose whether you want the reduction to be automatic, on, or off. And I'll just leave it on auto for now, and I'll have to test which setting is best. If I scroll down all the way to the end, then you have your on-screen shortcuts. So in the upper left, you can choose between shutter speed, just move it up, exposure compensation, white balance, ISO minimum, ISO maximum, sharpness, color, wind reduction, and 360 audio. But for me, I'm just going to keep it to shutter speed because I like controlling the shutter depending on the motion in my video. And you can also set another shortcut on the right hand side of your screen. So it was these buttons over here. these ones. So that's shutter speed, that's ISO. So now I can quickly just tap on the screen, set the settings, and just get going, which is really cool. So now let me show you the settings for hero mode. So I'll just go into hero mode first. I'm gonna tap here. So this is where you can change the view of the lens. So you can go like super wide, max super view, which is like the widest this GoPro can go, which is 13 millimeters. Or you can go to the next one, which is wide at 15 millimeters. I can't read it. I think it says 16. And then it's 19 millimeters called linear mode, which is the one I like because it gets rid of distortion. And there's one more, which is narrower, which is 27 millimeters. So this is like zoomed all the way in, but I prefer linear. So I'm gonna keep it there for now. So you can see the touch screen for me, it's a little bit fiddly, but still better than no touch screen. So let me go into the settings and edit them. The first option for hero mode is resolution. So I've set it to 1440p, which is the highest. You've also got 1080p as an option, and the frame rate is set to 25 at the moment, but you can also set it for 50 for slow motion. So you can get slow motion with only one lens, but right now you can't get slow motion with both lenses. So basically there is no slow motion with 360 video, but there is with a single lens. So not ideal, but we'll just have to test whether we can work with one lens or not. So I'll just go back. So again, we can change the lens to go wider or nearer. You can set max hyper smooth on or off, which is basically the stabilization. Always keep it on because this thing is awesome. We've talked about clips before. Horizon leveling is when the GoPro makes sure that the video is level and not bent. So horizon leveling should be on at all times. ProTune settings. So we've got bitrate, which I recommend set into high because it will give you better video quality. I've set the shutter speed to 1/50th, but if you want, you can set it to auto or 100th of a second, 200 or 400. You can control the exposure. So we got white balance again, we got ISO minimum and maximum like before, sharpness, color profile, microphone's important. So over here, in this mode, match lens, it will prioritize audio coming from the side of the camera being used. So right now I'm talking to this microphone, so the camera will pick up sound from this direction and prioritize this microphone over the one on the side or at the back. Now, if you know you're gonna be vlogging from this side of the GoPro and you don't want sound coming from the other side, then you should just set it to the back. So this is the back of the GoPro. So now it will only prioritize the sound coming from this microphone, and it will probably be using the other microphones to get rid of that sound and push this sound louder. So just something to be aware of here. So again, you can turn the wind reduction on, off, or auto. So right now I have it to off, which records standard audio without a raw audio track. Now if you want to, you can record a raw audio track with minimal processing, with moderate processing, and full processing. But I honestly don't know what that means in terms of processing, so that's something I need to look into. And again, in hero mode, you can set some shortcuts on the screen to help you record video faster. So that's all the settings for hero mode. So I noticed there is some new software available on GoPro's website for the GoPro MAX. The first one is GoPro MAX Exporter for Windows. So you can export your videos from your GoPro so you can edit it in Premiere Pro. And the second piece of software is the brand new GoPro VR Reframe plugins, which is called GoPro FX Reframe. Now I installed the plugin on Premiere Pro and it's currently not working for me, so I will update you about this software in future videos to come. That's it for this video, but if you want to keep up to date with my latest findings about the GoPro MAX, then make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're the first one to find out. One more thing before I go is that you probably used to know this channel as How to Make a Video, but now I've rebranded to Best 360, and I did this for two reasons. One, because I mostly talk about 360 cameras, and two, a lot of you were saying that my channel was really hard to find. So I thought I'd rebrand it to something easier to find, and it seems to have done the trick. So yeah, welcome to Best 360, and I'll see you in the next one.